Well, hey there, neighbor. It's me, Angie. It seems like forever since I've um, done a video for YouTube or even chatted with y'all, told y'all a story, shared what was going on with my life, invited you over to come in. So just come on in. We got things to talk about. Lots of things. All right, let's address the elephant in the room. All right, let's just talk about it. Because we talk about everything, you know. Yes, I have on my pajamas. It's probably after 8 here in Mississippi, and I decided to do a video for you. Now, of course, once I decided to do this, there was no way that I was going to come on here with, like, not any makeup or anything, because that's just who I am. I keep thinking, you're so vain, this song is probably about you. I don't know. Maybe that was written for me, but I don't really think I'm vain. I've just always wore makeup since I was 14 years old. Now, my daughter, on the other hand, and if you watch my live, and you can see how beautiful she is, she doesn't wear makeup, and she's beautiful. And if I would have started at 14 and never put on any makeup, I probably would look nice without makeup. But to me, I don't, and I always have to put makeup on, and I enjoy it. I like to go back there and play with my makeup and, do the best I can with what I have now. And, but anyway, we've addressed the fact that I'm in pajamas. I went and put makeup on. I even put perfume on for you. Deodorant, fix my hair. I mean, I'm just getting all dolled up for y'all. But here's the thing. I want to tell a story. It's story time with It's Me, Angie. Now, the last few days, I was thinking if I was going to be transparent with you all, and I always want to be honest with my channel. I want to be who I am. And, of course, my channel was mainly, I started this channel for my family. So it really doesn't matter, you're my YouTube family, but mostly my immediate family who will watch this if and when something happens to me with this autoimmune disease. Now, I don't talk about that much because I don't want my channel to be, poor Angie, she has this autoimmune disease, she's always talking about it, she's whining about it, this and that. No, I don't want my channel to be like that. I want my channel to be uplifting, positive, letting you know you can come through and go through anything, whatever you face. No matter what circumstance it's in front of you, you can do it. You can make it through it, and tomorrow's another day. That's what I want my channel to be like. But sometimes I have to tell you the backstory to get to the story that I'm trying to tell you now. Well, the backstory is I've not been well these last few days. Now, anytime that you're sick and you have an autoimmune disease, it's 3 or 4 times worse than if you are a healthy person. You don't even have to have an autoimmune disease. If you have underlying problems and you get something else on top of that, it's not easy. So for the last few days, I have not felt well at all. And I didn't know if I was going to tell you all about it because I didn't want to sound whiny and, poor, pitiful me and all this, because that's not the way I want to appear. But I have to tell you that to tell you what I'm going to tell you next. Next is, I think I've reached the other side of it. I think I'm going to be okay again. And then once I do reach the other side of coming through what I've gone through, I'm reminded of that line in the movie that says, you can get busy dying or you can get busy living. Well, my choice is always, I'm going to get busy and start living. Living the best life that I can live. That's my choice. Sometimes when you're down, sick, and out, you're fighting, and those things don't go through your mind. You're just trying to get through that moment, that minute, that hour, that day of not feeling well. When once you come through it, it's like, wow, I made it. And I made it. I've come through it. And I'm thankful for that. So I'm going to get busy living. And I want to tell you, get busy living. No matter what you're going through, get busy living. Do something every day that is positive. If you have to write it down and remind yourself to be positive, be positive. Now, I'm not one of those people, oh, she's just a positive thinker, thinks that if she thinks this, she thinks that, everything's going to be hunky-dory, and she lives in Disneyland, and everything doesn't work out that way. She doesn't have my life. She doesn't know what I'm going through. You're right. I don't. None of us know each other's story unless we tell it. And then when we tell it, are we really telling the truth? I mean, I want to be who I am. If you met me in person, I want you to feel like you already know me. I don't want to be somebody that if you met me in person, you would say, she's nothing like she is on video. I don't want to be that way. I want to be the person that you see here in front of you. And that's the way I'm going to be. Now, I live in a wheelchair. Is it always fun? No. Have I always lived in a wheelchair? No. And I had to adjust to it. And it was not easy. But I have. And I've taken it to look at it in a positive way. And you say, well, how can you look at living in a wheelchair in a positive way? Well, I could be bedridden. It could always be worse. I have a couple of friends that are, one of them has ALS, and she just ordered her machine that she can visually type and all that because she cannot move. I can still move. I can move my hands, my mouth, and I can still move my legs. You know, I can't walk, but I can still move them enough to get up and walk with a walker. Then I have another friend that had a real bad wreck that someone, an 18-wheeler, crashed in behind. Her sister, and her mom. Her sister and her mom passed away, and she burned. And they didn't think she was going to make it. Over 85% of her body burned. And she's still alive, and she lives with that every day. And she was a beautiful woman. Beautiful. I used to work with her at the bank. And she lives with that. So I get to thinking about those two women, and I think, I can live through anything. There's always somebody that's going through something that's worse than what you're dealing with. Which you matter. I matter. What I'm going through matters. But you have to put it in perspective. You have to say to yourself, am I going to use this to better myself and to be positive and spend the rest of my days here? Because one thing's for sure, we're all destined to one thing. And you know what that one thing is. We're not going to live forever. Now, a lot of us don't want to talk about that, but that's the truth. So, are we going to take those days that we have left and we're going to live them to the fullest? Or are we going to sit around and whine and cry? Now, don't get me wrong. There's a time for everything. Take your moment. Take your moment and be sad about what's happened to you. Take your moment and be mad about what's happened to you. I mean, take your moment. Have your moment. But don't stay there. Move. Get up and move. Move out of it. That's what I had to do. I had to move. I had to get up and say, this wheelchair does not define who I am. Though at first I thought it did. You'll be surprised at the thoughts you have when you go out in public, when you're either on a walker or in a wheelchair or have a cane or something. You have these thoughts that everybody's eyes are on you. And even though sometimes I may think that now, it doesn't bother me because it is what it is. So I'm telling you, get up, get a positive outlook. And you say, well, how do you do that? If you don't do anything else but write down 3 positive things about your life, if it's nothing but about your appearance, about your family, about a grandchild, about a child, about your spouse, about a friend of yours, anything that's positive, get up and write 3 things about that every day. And say, I'm going to win today. And even if it doesn't feel like that you're winning, keep saying it. I'm going to win. And eventually, guess what? You will win. I know. I've lived it. Now, it may not be the winning that you want for it to be, but it'll be a winning as far as you've lived it to see another day. You've lived for your loved ones to see you for another day. There's a lot of reasons that we can continue to go on the next day. Now, I don't know why I told all that I've told today about being positive and getting up and moving and not letting sickness or anything define who you are. It's just that I don't want to just sit around the last few years that I have and do nothing. I want to accomplish something. And I'm going to. And that brings me to the next thing I want to say. So come on in here. Now, I'm going to start doing auctions. Now, I think I have a tentative date, but I don't really want to say right now. But I want you all to know that I want any advice, anything that you have to share with me in the comments of what you like about your auctions, why you started your auctions. Anything that you want to talk about auctions, just put it in the comments. Next thing, as you all know, I've mentioned this several times, that I'm a moderator for Scrap with Matt's channel. And actually, he had an auction last night, and I moderated for his auction. And I enjoyed it. I watch all these auction channels now. I mean, every time I turn YouTube on, I'm watching a lot of the channels to try to see how I might want to do my auction when I have it, what I want to sell, how I want to appear, just, different things that I like and dislike about auctions that I'm watching on YouTube. So I have been doing my homework. Well, I don't know if you watched the video with my husband and I. James and I cooked with Matt, and he made beignets. I sent him some grits and beignets from the South because he lives in New York. And at the spur of the moment, when he unboxed the stuff, he decided that he wanted to cook the beignets. So James and I helped him. So go over there and watch that, where he cooks the beignets. Now, on the 18th, which is this next Friday, I'm going to be cooking with Matt again, and we're going to cook, guess what? Grits. Now, some of you might say to yourself, what is a grit? Now, a grit is ground up corn. It's a corn. So I'm going to we eat it for breakfast here in the South. But we also eat it with shrimp. You can have shrimp and grits. Different things like that. But mostly it's a breakfast food. And you have grits and butter. You can have grits with your eggs. You can have grits with just about anything. Some people that's tasted it, that didn't grow up with it, say it doesn't have taste. And you have to eat something else with it for it to have a taste. And maybe that's true. I don't know. But I'll be cooking grits with him next Friday. And I'm looking forward to that. So, as I continue on this journey of starting my own auctions, and I'm going to tell you, I'm still going to have story time with It's Me, Angie. My husband and I are still going to make cooking videos. This is just going to be something added to my channel for me to do with my extra time. You know, I asked the question in one of my videos, could auctions be a hobby? A lot of you answered, and I was so glad. I enjoyed every one of the comments. And I want to thank you for that, for commenting on that video. So I will be trying that. Now, the last thing I want to talk to you about is I always want to be true to myself, true to my subscribers, and true to my family about who I am. I'm an open book. I really don't have anything to hide. Now, years ago, and I'm still this way to a certain extent, I'm a very private person. And it's not that I'm trying to pretend that my life's more important and I really don't want to tell it because I think it's important not to tell. It's just that I've always been that way, and it's hard for me to open up and talk about things that I normally would not talk about that is left within our home. And I'm not saying I'll always reveal to you everything that's going on with me, but I'll try to get better at doing that. Because I don't want y'all to wake up one day and my husband has to come on here and say, well, Angie's been sick for 2 months. She just didn't tell you, and she's no longer with us. I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to be as honest with you as I can as things progress with my illness, if they do. And I'll be honest with you as much as I can. That's a promise. Because, neighbor, you mean that much to me. My subscribers mean that much to me. And I'm just thrilled that I have as many subscribers as I do. And many people leave so many nice comments about, we love to hear you tell stories. We love to hear you talk. Your voice just soothes us. I don't know what that's about, but I'm so glad to hear it because I'm giving something back. I sit here at home, like right now, my husband's at work. I'm here by myself, and I'm with you, my YouTube family, which I love. Now, when I start doing auctions, I have a lot of ideas in my mind of what I want to do, how I want it to go, but we'll see. And I'm excited about it. So, until we meet again, my neighbor, my friend, like, share, comment, and don't forget to hit that bell so you'll know the next time I come with you, whether it be in my PJs or all decked out in a dress, and I might be going somewhere. But until then, bye, neighbor.